Hell yeah, dude.
Yep.
Matthew.
What's up?
What's up, dude?
You're eating candy?
Got some Haribo gummy bears.
Ooh. I assumed for a second that those were just the Percocets that I instructed you to take regularly, regardless of how you feel.
Mm. Yeah, that's just how we get ready for podcasts normally.
Hell yeah, dude.
I feel like Matt's gonna be on fire this one.
Well,
straight from the ER. All right, Matt. Well, we had your opponent, Jay. He was feeling pretty cocky this last podcast, talking about how he put you in the ER, how he was standing in as the king of podcasting. So we feel like it's only fair to even though we have a strict no losers policy on this podcast,
Right.
we figured let's hear the victim side of the story.
yes.
Because apparently, Matt,
my side of the
Yeah.
my side of the story.
Apparently,
how
you were
can I
assaulted
explain?
by a black guy. Is that? Am I reading this correctly? Like you were just hanging out on stage and he assaulted you?
I mean, with everything happening in the world with Kanye West, Kyrie Irving, black men attacking Jews publicly, I'm not sure how anyone wouldn't be on my side in this scenario now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Matt, if you listen to what either of those gentlemen had to say, they are the real Jews.
Oh yeah, that is true.
That I've decided to start listening to people of color, and that means I understand that they're Jews now.
This was actually a battle for who the real Jews are, and I don't necessarily know, based on my condition, if I can say that I won.
Well, Matt, you are the real Jew because of this battle. Because listen, you suffered something traumatic that you are now going to milk forever. What's more Jewish than that?
I don't know. I don't think I've done enough complaining. I know too many Jews. Their complaining is on a whole other level. The amount, because Jay even reached out to me. People who were reaching out to me like, "You handled this really well." I'm like, "That's not very Jewy."
Yeah,
I think it was the shock of it. It was awesome because like we have the footage. Like that's going to open the podcast.
So upsetting, dude.
Yeah.
If listen, I shouldn't say this because I want people to enjoy the art that we made, but I personally recommend skipping through that video because you do hear a snap and it sounds like a branch being broken by a strong man's leg.
I did up the volume just a little bit to make sure it was audible because it was also like that thing where Matt kind of looks up all doe-eyed and shocked like a kid that got in trouble and said, "I think I broke my arm." And he pulls up his arm and it's like at a fucking angle the other way. And it's like, yeah, dude, you broke your fucking arm.
He did make a face like his arm breaking was his mom catching his hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah,
that's the face.
It's like his parents dropped him off at the heckle mic. They said, "All right, Matt, remember you're wearing your nice Cobra Kai costume. Don't get it mussy before Halloween. We're gonna go trick or treating, and whatever you do, no roughhousing. Just go up and do your set. Don't try to establish your strength in front of anyone, especially POCs." Yeah, but that was awesome.
I've heard stories of like professional arm wrestlers who like break their arms arm wrestling, where I had no idea that I would have like been able to, me and another comedian would have been able to generate enough power to break a bone.
That's awesome, man. That was like a reverse John Henry, where a black man broke the machine of oppression. No more white guys taking their sets.
What the doctor told me was that when because my arm was going down and I started to fight back and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm fighting back." And that's when I heard the snap.
Nice.
So basically, obviously the Jay putting his force down, he has to have enough force to break a bone, but my muscle has to be stubborn enough to be like, I'm strong enough. I can handle this.
But you weren't.
No.
That's what was so scary.
My bone wasn't. My mind was telling me yes, but my body told me no.
Yeah, Matt, I'm a little shaken from you breaking your arm because, I look to you as the strength beyond this behind this podcast, and seeing you with one arm broken, it was like seeing your father cry for the first time. You're like, wow, I don't have a protector. I am in this world alone.
Well, first of all, I didn't cry, and second of all, if you know anything about real strength, it's not about getting knocked down, it's about how you get back up.
It's how you get back up. And
yeah,
Matt breezing through the metaphor to make sure everybody knows that he did not cry.
yes,
Yes, I like that.
there are priorities here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how's Matt? We are talking to you post surgery, I believe.
Yes.
Wow.
So as I understand it, you had a rod put in your arm.
No, so I thought it was going to be a rod. They did plates and screws.
Oh,
Okay.
Can you break down like the whole process? Basically, everybody knows what happened up until you got into an Uber and went out to the hospital. And then like the last thing we saw was Matt's arm in a sling and a panic-stricken Matt Maran begging for any kind of help, any kind of
crying,
an island of help in a sea of indifference and apathy. Matt,
Dude,
what happened when you got to the hospital? When you got to Mount Sinai?
It was insane how like inept everything was that it got to the point where I'm like, I'm just going to put up a post that seems as sympathetic as possible so someone will help me, and it did work.
Now, Matt, would you say that you wanted help but no one would help you?
Yes, I figured if I said that multiple times, someone would feel bad enough that they would do something.
Nice.
And for whatever anyone will say about it, that is how I ended up getting help. So
thank you, Mark Zuckerberg.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so
he really did help us out because he could have buried that fucking algorithm. You know,
that is true.
He would have been like, help, somebody needs help. Fucking hide that and replaced it with like a bikini picture of a woman talking about how unseasonably warm November is. So they get one extra day to dress like a slut while our friend here dies of gangrene in his infected, broken arm.
They could have hidden it as hate speech because I read that post and boy, did I hate it.
Yeah.
I did hate the U.S. healthcare system.
Ooh. I bet, dude. You and anyone else that has any kind of minor affliction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say so? You said it was like easier to get surgery on your chrome dome than getting it on your fucking arm, right?
Oh, literally everything about brain surgery I prefer to this. I mean, the brain surgery is a more risky surgery, so there's like that part of it, but absolutely there's more pain with this. There's less people being helpful, less people letting you see a doctor. Literally everything is more frustrating and painful with a broken arm than with brain surgery.
Because you
I would
die
do brain
without
surgery
a brain
10 times again before this.
You die without a brain, but I feel like a lot of people are like, you have fucking 2 arms, dude. Relax. Ooh, I can't use one of my arms. Well, you have another one.
Yeah, it makes you just get better at jerking off with your other arm.
There's nothing more infuriating than an indifferent, obese black woman that won't help you.
Yeah,
which is I imagine.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is what happened to me is very funny. Like undeniably, it is very funny. But it is also extremely uncomfortable and annoying and painful. And so even though I can't not recognize how funny it is, it's very annoying when people are just talking about how funny it is and I can't get help.
Well, but for me, it makes it monumentally funnier. Oh no, he needs help. Yeah, I'll get right on that, buddy. Oh man, Bobby, to your point where you talk about an indifferent black woman at reception, comment on how nice her nails look. And you'll get moved right along.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you, sugar. Let's get you moving on up to the east side.
So in the ER
apartment in the sky.
So I get brought to the ER, and one of the people who was at the show, who was also a nurse, who's only been doing comedy for like a couple months, she came with me, and she's a nurse, and that just helped because there were just times where I needed to be placed in a certain position and I couldn't move. And if I called for help, just no one turned around, like in the entire ER. So once she left, there were times where I was literally calling out, somebody help, I'm in pain. And no one came by for like 3 minutes.
Matt finally experienced what it's like to be a short king on Tinder.
Yes.
I desperately needed attention, but no one would give it to me.
I couldn't get anyone's attention to get a cup of water. I couldn't move either. Just physically, I couldn't get myself up. So it was just very annoying. And then they give me a phone number for a orthopedist that I have to call on Monday because this is Friday night. So already that's kind of frustrating. I'm going to be in this giant splint that's real uncomfortable all weekend.
Wait till he finds out that the number he was given was 855 get fucked.
Well, basically. So I call this number and Also, I should say, during the pandemic, when I was working security, my security guard license expired.
Oh no!
And they gave you everyone a year extension. But even after that, I sent all my paperwork in. The state just never refiled it because they were just like, we're behind on stuff.
Oh,
so
no.
I haven't been able to work any security, which is the job I had my insurance through.
Matt.
So since then, I've started working in a new field where I'm coaching youth sports, and I have Medicaid because I have no other option for insurance.
Yikes.
I'm starting to understand why all the doctors were ignoring
you.
Yeah.
I wish we knew that going
insurance,
in. Yeah.
But I had insurance, and then the state just fucked me over, so I have no other option.
You have insurance, but it's like with a little asterisk by it.
Yeah.
It's like that means like, well, we will eventually have you seen, but you got to have like, that sucks, man. Because what do you use, Bobbert?
What insurance do I have?
Yeah.
United Healthcare (parentheses Oxford).
I use Aetna myself, so it's not bad.
I was on
Matt, let me
Cigna.
adopt you. Let me adopt you.
Yes.
We can fix all of this.
I was on Cigna. Everything was fine, and then just New York State during the pandemic is like, fuck you. And now it's either have no insurance or have Medicaid.
Yeah, Medicaid is like the coupon of medical services.
Yeah.
You basically showed up and you're like, you had like a punch card and you're like, this broken arm is actually free. And everyone's like, oh, there's no way he's going to tip me with this. And that's why they wouldn't give you water.
Yeah. But so I call the doctor they recommend to me. They tell me he doesn't accept my insurance, but they say, oh, we'll connect you to somebody else and we'll get you someone who does. And they do get me a doctor who accepts my insurance.
Praise the Lord.
And then I, just in case, because I didn't necessarily trust that, I was looking up, I called my insurance company. I got a list of I went to ZocDoc, found all these doctors who accept my insurance. And most of them wanted to put me on a wait list that wasn't going to be, they weren't going to get back to me for like 3 days at least, and then tell me when a further appointment would be.
Your arm would be healed all fucked up and backwards by then. Right?
Exactly.
It wouldn't like set right. So like a doctor wouldn't see him. So it's all like, fuck. Look at this incredible thing I'm doing right now, Bobby. Look at this. Incredible fucking
little Z.
And that, you know what? That's shout out to Zoom for making this all happen.
Shout out to Zoom. Oh, I thought you were making a Z with your arm to support the Russian Federation.
Oh, I was doing just like a little Egyptian, but also like how his arm would heal all fucked up due to lack of a good
supporting Zelensky.
Ooh.
Oh, maybe this whole Russian-Ukraine thing is a misunderstanding, and all those Russian tanks with the Z on them is actually for Zelensky. There was a welcome party for Zelensky. And things just got, the whole war is just a romantic comedy misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Where like the man's platonic woman friend was like cleaning his pants, but then she like fell down. And then his new girlfriend walked in and she was like, Jonathan, how could you? And he's like, babe, I could explain. But for some reason, she doesn't wait for the explanation because there needs to be conflict in the movie.
They throw away a 15-year relationship. Yeah. Just like what could clearly be a something. You're having some kind of sexual relations while fully clothed. What the hell?
You know where romantic comedy stole that whole premise from was from the sitcom Three's Company.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Shakespeare and his problem plays, because those were all like, they weren't exactly tragedies, but they had like a sense of suspense.
Okay.
But because they all ended in a marriage, they're like, oh, well, that's like a problem play, because it wasn't necessarily a comedy. And it wasn't necessarily a tragedy. So it kind of fell in between. An example is Twelfth Night.
Okay.
Where you know, like they look like, oh, the relationships aren't gonna happen.
12th Night is what Matt called waiting for a doctor to call him back.
Nice, dude. Poor Matt.
Yeah.
Anyway, class is out of session. That's all you need to know. I do know a handful of things. I'm like a little bit of a Shakespeare nerd, but I don't want to go to Verona and see where he was.
Yeah, I saw 12th like high school. I think we saw the play. I remembered nothing about it though.
Oh, A Midsummer Night's Dream. That's another good problem play right there.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
Problem play. Well, that's what I call all plays. I fucking hate watching them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like musicals, but I hate plays.
Dude, I as a little child went to see the Phantom of the Opera, and holy shit, what a bad fucking play to bring children to. I remember watching it and thinking like, dude, can I go back to school?
Yeah,
TJ,
I
I'd
saw
like
it
to
as a kid
learn.
and fell asleep during it. That's like the one play I saw as a kid.
Yeah. You know what it is I don't no offense to any dancers that might be listening, but it's an art form that I do not appreciate.
Dance?
Dance is like right above like the subway percussionist in terms of art that I enjoy.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Let me say this. I do understand that it takes talent, and I appreciate and understand the talent, but my serotonin does not rise when I'm looking at it. I'm like, yeah, they're doing that. That's nice. But it's almost like you walk by a construction site. You know those guys are doing a talented thing, and that it's necessary for you to like be inside. But I don't like look at what they're doing and be like, yes, this. I'm gonna watch this for a half hour.
But if you watch it on it, but if you watch a time lapse of a building being erected, it's fucking cool. So you can appreciate it in like the long. You just like you get a different appreciation from art over different periods of time, and sometimes you might not even appreciate something until later down the line. Like there's artists that are like misunderstood in their time.
Yeah.
So we can also look at it like that. Yeah. Damn,
and I do agree when it comes to Phantom of the Opera dances, but TikTok dances I appreciate.
Oh yeah, Matt loves the art behind the TikTok dances of those girls that are definitely 18, definitely verified adults.
You just watch like the lonely housewives like dancing on TikTok because they have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have TikTok. I'm too old for TikTok.
Now I saw a big titted woman.
Nice.
And
where'd you see her?
Who cares, dude? No, let's get back to the titties.
It's like
what was she? Well, tell me there was an I voted sticker adjoining those patriotic milkers. Hey baby, I voted fucking too. I vote you and I get out of here and procreate and create another little Democrat since you don't have the right to fucking choose anymore.
How about you and I get out of here and vote for Nader, who gets 2%?
Ooh.
And then I'll give you another 2 if you know what I'm saying.
Anyway, what were we talking about? The titties. The titties.
So I saw a big titted housewife on TikTok. To your point,
me.
Yeah. I don't have TikTok, but some of those videos get uploaded to Pornhub. So that's where I found it. And it is actually remarkable because on Pornhub you could find naked titties, you could find bukkakis, you could find all sorts of things that may tickle your fancy.
What's your top thing to watch right now on Pornhub?
We have definitely gone over this over a dozen times, but I'm happy to repeat
let's
myself.
Bring it up. You said it once before, but a bear's opinion now. What porno do you watch?
I'm going to say bukkakis.
You never know whose first episode it is.
Exactly.
That's true. Now, what race do you prefer for bukkake?
You know what? You're going to roll your eyes, but I don't have a preference in terms of race.
So you're not creeped out when a bunch of Asian people are fucking bukkaking over, even though isn't that wild? Like that's the culture that created it, but it feels most unsettling to see them perform.
I kind of like when people are noisy in porn, and the sounds that both Asian men and women make in porn is upsetting. Because women think that we want them to sound like they're being raped, which to an extent, yes, but not to the point that they're doing it. Like they're like, oh. And I'm like, who is coming to this? And the guys are worse because they don't go like, oh, I'm gonna go. They just go like, oh.
There's only one scene that's ever made me horny, and that's the 1995 sexual thriller sci-fi masterpiece Species. Ooh. Where Natasha Henstridge is having sex with Alfred Molina, and after he comes, she puts his hand on her stomach and said, "Do you feel that? It's life." And then Alfred Molina is like, "My dear girl, you can't possibly. There's some tribes that claim they can feel contraception, but he doesn't know that Natasha Henstridge is really a fucking alien bent on procreation." And then she kills Alfred Molina, which is like all you ever want to do, the experience the joys of fatherhood and have sex with a woman and then fucking die. And I've been chasing that dragon ever since, baby. Hey, director of fucking Species, Academy Award for hitting the nail on the fucking head.
So, folks, my answer of bukkake doesn't seem that creepy now, does it?
Just that one scene. Read the movie, but just fast forward to that one scene. Yeah. Thank me later.
I love Joe works at Blockbuster. And the teenager that he's handing the movie to is like, okay, sir.
I really just can you imagine that? That was the fucking move back in the day in your adolescence, back when you were a young boy that didn't have access to the internet. You'd have to rent an R-rated movie. You have to get your parents to rent an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
But have to make it an action R-rated movie. So, like, you know, Steven Seagal would have a couple of films where there were titties in them. So you would watch that. You would watch aforementioned Species, Tales from the Crypt Bordello of Blood, where you just see, like, you know, it's kind of borderline softcore.
Shannon Elizabeth and American Pie.
Yeah, of course. Matt's favorite fucking franchise, right? You know, they were like those sex comedies, which is all but eliminated now thanks to internet porn. Now that there's easier ways to access titties, cut out the who fucking cares? That's why Mr. Skin isn't relevant anymore. It's like you don't need
the first on-screen titties I remember seeing, I think I may have mentioned this before, was Austin Powers, a lot of vagina in the hot tub.
Yeah. But she wasn't fully naked.
Yeah, you could just see the titties right under the water, but that was enough for me.
That was all Matt needed.
I remember as a teenager jacking off to the video of Jessica Simpson singing that Dukes of Hazzard song with the Daisy Dukes.
Walking,
yeah. And what like now that would do literally nothing for me. Like,
damn,
wow, look at this woman's legs.
Damn, dude, I think you need to like spend a weekend
jerk off
unplugged.
to the scene in I used to jerk off to the scene in Eurotrip when the guy is in the hot tub telling the girl she's got a spot on her nipple and she has to get it off.
No,
she
you
keeps
didn't,
rubbing
dude.
it over and over again.
Matt just
like,
jerked
where
off to
is
the
it?
brother-sister makeout scene, dude. That's the only thing you.
Oh,
like,
yes.
damn, I wish I had a little sister.
Yeah. Instead of substituting Jake for this exact situation.
That's wild, man.
So I wanted to say, it didn't even get to the craziest part yet with the whole insurance thing. One, it's just at this point impossible to even get to see an orthopedist. And then the next morning, Mount Sinai calls me and is like, hey, so we're calling you to follow up and get you an appointment with the doctor. And I'm like, oh, it's great, because I was on the phone with you guys for like hours yesterday and you said you couldn't get me one. So, okay, cool. And they set me up with one the next day. And then the next day comes, and in the morning I get a call from them like, hey, we messed up. We gave you a hand doctor instead of an arm doctor, and that guy can't see you or help you.
Oh, no. But Matt, what that means you haven't gotten any help.
So that's when I put up the post, because that's just like 3 days in a row of being on the phone with insurance companies, doctors, hospitals, and so many different places. And then once I put up the post, so many people have reached out to me who like worked in the medical field or were nurses. This guy will see you. This guy will see you. He'll see you tomorrow. And I got to see someone tomorrow and got surgery in a couple days.
Wait a minute. How do you know these people? Do they have a blue check mark by their name? How do we know they're actually medical?
They pay $8, Matt?
Motherfucker, just take a couple of these pills. You'll be just fine. I was like, thank you for the help, Dr. Blackman.
They said we have Percocet, and I said, sounds like a doctor to me.
Yeah. Hey, Doc, thanks for the assist.
What are you eating, Matt?
Perks.
Gummy bears.
Ooh, nice.
THC infused gummy bears.
Ooh, careful, bud.
Yeah, be careful.
Percocets, Matt. You could have as many as you want, but be careful with the marijuana. But, I had a neighbor that had surgery and then was taking Percocets, and his life ended with his estranged wife finding heroin that he buried in the backyard.
Mamma mia, Bambino.
Yeah. So it might be something to look forward to, Matt.
Yeah. There was one of my dad's cousin I was talking to on the phone about it, and I was just saying how insane it is that and my dad was the same way. We were like, this is insane. Somebody can have a broken arm and just nobody will help them.
Yeah.
And
but you wanted
my
help.
dad's cousin on the phone was like, and I was just saying how fucked up our healthcare system is, and she just immediately went into, well, it's actually the best, because if you had Medicare for all, and just like went on a rant about that, I'm like, I don't care if it's any the fact that I had to go through all this just to see someone when I had a broken arm is insane.
Yeah, you're like, hey, we're here to talk about my broken arm, not your retard diagnosis. Exactly. The fuck out of here, thinking that shit's better, dude.
Then she tried to tell me how important it was to vote in the midterms coming up.
Did you vote? I voted. I fucking voted yesterday. Kelly made me.
No.
And my fucking mom became all fucking politically involved. Isn't that crazy? She doesn't work anymore, so she just fucking watches CNN and gets pissed off no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what. It's like, get a fucking job, lady.
Why doesn't she work?
I don't know, because my stepdad makes enough for both of them.
Okay.
That's like a generational thing, you know?
Yeah.
They're like the last generation where it was okay to be a housewife. Now it's like, I guess it's actually cool if you're a dad and you decide to stay at home.
Yeah.
So your wife.
So I was gonna say the where I went to college was a big pre-med school. So I have a lot of friends who work in the medical field. And literally all of them were saying it's not about what you know, it's who you know. The system is messed up. Like, I didn't get I know a lot of people who work in the field, and the only person I got who defended it was some like conservative family member trying to get me not to be in favor of Medicare for all.
Medicare for Matt.
But yeah, literally everyone I know who works in the medical field is like, yeah, this is so fucked up. You did the right, literally had people tell me you did the right thing by posting on social media to get help, because that's the only way you were probably going to get care.
And go on fucking Bobby's going to go on social media like, I need help, but my dick isn't sucked. And I need it sucked.
I want my dick sucked and no one will suck it.
I walk into women's bathrooms holding my engorged penis, tears streaming down my cheeks, begging for it to be sucked. And they scream and they mace me. And I just need to be sucked off. I need to be sucked off and no one will suck me off. And then like everyone's commenting on Bobby's status. Hey, Carolyn, can you help Bobby out? He's a good guy. Everyone like vouches for everyone puts somebody else up.
Bobby,
Nobody
don't
offers
worry.
to do
I have
it.
an ugly cousin that will blow anyone. Give me your number.
Nobody personally is like, I myself will suck you off. But it's like, hey, this guy's a good guy. Can somebody suck? Surely someone can suck him off.
I can't believe we live in a country where a nice guy like you can't get his dick sucked.
Nice.
This is ridiculous.
Matt, is anyone
I'm in Canada and I could get my dick sucked whenever I want.
Matt, you should go on Facebook and like say like, hey, I need a fucking sponge bath.
Yeah. I want a sponge bath, but no one will give me sponges.
Yeah, you should say like, hey, ladies, I need to. I'm trying to find a fucking another historical roast battle. Florence Nightingale. Does anyone want to be Florence Nightingale?
Ooh.
Give me a sponge bath. See, dude, I know shit. I know historical shit, dude.
You're a smart guy.
Who's your
smart?
Who's your ideal like historical fuck? Is it Florence?
Bobby, why don't you go
if you can like pick a girl from back then, you would fuck. Who would it be?
Cleopatra.
Cleopatra's a good one.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I forget her last name, but Mariah
Carey. Good one, dude.
Marie Antoinette.
1990s Mariah Carey.
Mariah from
Joan of Arc,
Hamilton.
Bobby.
What's
13. That? Joan of Arc.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, Pocahontas.
No. I would never fuck a heretic. That's disgusting.
Right, that's true.
But the woman that Alexander Hamilton cheated with.
Maria Reynolds.
Yeah,
right?
Mariah Reynolds. Thank you. Yeah, because she must have been tasty for him to literally ruin his entire political career. Although, look at Monica Lewinsky. That might not necessarily be true.
Bob Burr.
Yeah.
You want to go Sally Hemings, the girl that Thomas Jefferson had slave kids with?
No, thank you, Matt. Thank you for checking, though. that moves beyond like fun and quirky to do you want to rape a slave? Which I don't.
Are you sure?
I didn't say rape. I said dream sex. You're not raping them.
Oh, so wait, can I be the literal white savior where I'm like, I kick in the door, I'm like, don't worry, honey, that fucking rapist plantation owner who's way too tall for you, by the way. Right. I'm here to help you. I'm here to save you. And now that you just turned 18, because famously you were younger than that, but now you're how old do they have to be for people not to get mad? 22.
Yeah.
You're 22 now.
No, you got over 25 because remember how Leonardo DiCaprio was doing that cool thing to like, and then like once they turned 25, he threw him to the curb and they're like, and then these women, the same women who say a woman should be president also believes like a woman is incapable of making any choices of her own.
Yeah.
It's like,
can't rent a car, can't ride this dick.
Exactly.
That's my motto.
How wild is that? It's like, yo, you gotta pick a lane. Like he wasn't grooming them.
People say to me, they're like, oh, Bobby, you're gonna date a woman that's 20 years old. She can't even drink. I'm like, I can't drink either. We have so much in common already.
Yeah. Plus, you both got tight little bodies. That's another thing.
We both have swimmers' bodies.
I just want to fucking rub my hands up and down their fucking bodies all day.
Nice little hairless.
They got these smooth, tight little fucking toned bodies.
We're finding more about how Joe feels about me than how anybody feels about anybody.
Matt's sad that his arm is broken, so he only has sensation in one hand. Of all the days I have to fucking jerk off with my least dominant hand.
Have you been working out your working arm, Matt?
No, I feel like
he shouldn't.
If I do that, it'll be more uneven when it starts to get back to normal. Although, yeah, I've been mentioned to Bobby before. I've always jerked off with my left hand.
Fascinating.
I can do the right hand also, but I'm just more used to left hand. I can do both. I'm a switch hitter.
Nice.
Ooh.
Well, I see we were about to go buy you a pocket pussy, but I guess we don't need to now.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. Have Mark Henley use it on him.
I need some relief. Mark, please. You know how it is when you need some relief.
For Mark, it would be the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Using a pocket pussy on a dude. Come on, man. What's not to love?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
that's what he loves. Fucking a dude with a fake pussy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like
Mark
2
Henley may
weeks.
live forever.
I have a follow-up appointment in 2 weeks, and then I start doing physical therapy. And because the surgery, it was just above the elbow, but they basically said it's a broken elbow. And the elbow, it's really stiff, so that takes a lot of physical therapy. But I mean, as far as rehab goes, I'm like, I'll come as often as you need. I just want to get back to normal as soon as I can.
And if I know my romantic comedies at all, it's Matt will fall in love with his physical therapist.
Aw. What's his name?
We'll see. Both the nurses in recovery after the surgery and the nurse the night in the ER both had boyfriends. So I'm 0 for 2 so far.
They all say that. You should have asked for a sponge bath.
Hey, Matt, you know the old expression, just because there's a goalie doesn't mean you can't carry chloroform.
Matt asks for a sponge bath. He takes off his little fucking robe thingy. And the nurse is like, I'm going to need a bigger sponge for his massive retard dick.
This is a great, thank you, Joseph.
You're welcome.
Matt, how do you feel about having, quote, what was the expression you used? Massive retard dick? Because you are being called a retard, but your dick is being called massive. Do they cancel each other out? Is there one you feel more about a way than another?
I'll take the massive retard dick for sure. Most guys are retarded anyway. At least I get a big dick out of it.
There you go.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine being a little dick retard.
That's the worst of both worlds.
Try.
Yeah.
A little dick retard, huh? I can't do it.
Impossible.
It's too out of character for me.
It's too much of a stretch.
It's the worst of both worlds. The opposite of Hannah Montana.
Hell yeah, dude.
I just saw Billy Ray Cyrus is now engaged to his girlfriend who is 23 years old.
Nice, dude.
He took 23andMe in another direction.
And so his fiance is younger than his daughter.
Why not, dude?
Dude, imagine being his daughter and being like, am I too old for my dad?
Okay, so I saw that engagement photo, but then I got a good look at the woman's face and it's like, whatever.
She's an uggo?
I mean, she's a butterface.
I just hope she doesn't break his achy breaky heart.
She will.
Yeah.
She will. When she outlives him.
Yeah. Is that, if you ever see that
he doesn't look bad for a 61-year-old.
Really?
I think he doesn't. He looks,
it's crazy what immeasurable wealth can do to somebody.
Yeah. What do you think what kind of antioxidants do you think he takes?
I think it's probably the scaring babies chemical.
Wow.
He probably scaring a lot of babies in his basement. And kind of going about that way. I think. I can't think of any other Billy Ray Cyrus songs.
That's all he had. He was a one-hit wonder.
I think Achy Breaky Heart's the big one. There's other ones, if I heard them, I might recognize them because I like country music. But yeah, even me, I can't off the top of my head think of another one now.
Can't break my heart, my achy breaky heart.
I just don't think you'd understand.
Having a 23-year-old girlfriend at 61 is such a level of I don't care who is mad at me.
That's all of my friends that would judge me are dead.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, I guess Bobby and Matt and Kelly have all been dead and gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to go fuck a 23. And they're like, get the fuck away from me, you weird old creep.
Yeah.
I'm like, but the achy breaky, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, this woman was born after that song.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome. What a
That's
weirdo.
wild. I will
dude.
say, having a week at home, probably the most helpful person this whole week has been Joe for giving me his Hulu password.
Hell yeah, dude. I got your back, bud.
Thank you. And also, because I've just been home, I've just been watching either Hulu stuff or putting on Sports Center and literally hearing nonstop about everything that Kyrie Irving has been up to. The story is crazy because as you're following it developing, you're just seeing how it gets crazier and crazier every step of the way.
He can't be anti-Semitic though, because how can he be anti-Semitic when he is Semitic? He really just like Kanye. That's a whole different thing. And I feel like most people's anti-Semitic, most people's anti-Semitism is we know where it comes from. But Kyrie Irving, he is a big dumb retard. Like, like, why are we like what? He thought the world was flat. He's very good at basketball, and sorry, that's it. I'm not saying if you're an athlete, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he won Jeopardy, Celebrity Jeopardy. He's very smart. Yeah. But some people are just good at the one thing they got famous for, and their brains are rattling otherwise.
I think if you knew Kyrie, you'd be like, I like this guy. He says weird things sometimes. Yeah. But because we don't know him like that, we just know him as the guy who, you know, say things every once in a while where it's like kind of going off the deep end a bit. If you didn't know him, you'd probably think he was dumb. I think that's probably more what it is.
Do you think I could talk him into sucking my dick? And the reason I'm not saying that I the thing is like, you know what I mean? Like you put him in front of one documentary, he's like, okay. Yeah. So I'm like, listen.
I'm just saying he is one of the greatest ball handlers in NBA history.
Hell yeah, dude.
Classic Matt, dude.
I think I could swing it.
Yeah. But he so the thing was he just shared a link to the Amazon Prime, a documentary on Amazon Prime. I think it's called Hebrew Negroes, and it's just like the Black Israelite theory, which
I wasn't it Hebrews to Negroes.
Yeah, something like that. The basic theory is that the original like Hebrew Semitic people were actually black and not what later evolved like what later became Ashkenazi or Sephardic Jews.
Nice.
Which that theory in and of itself is kind of all right if you think that I don't know anything about that, but it always ends up leading to also, oh, and by the way, the reason we don't know about this is because the Jews who run the media and the banks have stopped black people from knowing. And that's so it always ends up leading to more like anti-Jewish feelings.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. Like, would you want the world to know you were like related to black people? No. I'd use my fucking wealth of resources and connections in the media to fucking silence it.
Yeah.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Find out like there's like a bunch of fucking black
yeah,
people,
I was seeing
like fucking crazy ass Kanye West and Kyrie Irving are fucking related to you. No, they're crazy black people. I'm a fucking Jew who controls the media.
Oh my god, now I get it, Joe. You laid it out for me. That's
why
Kanye and Kyrie are so hateful towards Jews, because Jews are denying that they're related. They're like the Sheba Mason of Jews. They're like, I'm related to this person, and that person is like, no, you are not.
Are you related to Sheba Mason?
No, but she is not related to Jackie Mason.
Oh, really?
Allegedly. According to Jackie,
is that real?
According to Jackie
Mason,
wasn't.
She actually isn't.
He says that she is not his daughter, and she says that he is, and only one of them is alive now. So.
To deny your own daughter.
Yeah, I know Kanye's full name is Kanye West Bank, so I don't know how that plays into it.
Ooh, Yee Bank for short.
Yeah.
I
saw some people online saying things like, why are people mad at Kyrie and not mad at Jeff Bezos or Amazon for having this on the network in the first place, or that the owner of the Brooklyn Nets is going after Kyrie supports China, who is like carrying out a genocide. And I don't know. I'm like, can't this all be bad and us not have to say, why are you mad at this and not mad at that? Like,
no, Matt, you have to do whataboutism because it makes you look smart. That's what everybody does.
What about this?
Yeah.
What about that? What about this?
See, I'm a little familiar with this whole Black Israelite, blacks are the real Jews thing because I like old school hip hop. And going back to the Kyrie Irving thing, it's the same thing. Like these guys are so incredible with their creativity, and they can make me feel things I never thought I could feel before, and they could rhyme words that I didn't think could rhyme. But they are idiots. Like they just dumb. They're not smart. People don't create things that we want to consume generally. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you have like these prolific authors and directors or whatever, but you want an actor, you got to find somebody that is good at memorizing the things and faking emotion. And sometimes those people will watch one documentary and have a whole belief system around it.
Well, that's why people, I think, tune into Locker Room Talk, because they know that we're not smart and we don't provide anything of value.
Yes.
Nice, dude.
Just turn your brain off. Let Papa Gorman, Sheehan, and Maran lull you into a sweet slumber.
I'm thinking of good vibrations. She's thinking of excitations. Man, how cool would it be if I got my fucking hands on that Williams guy before that idiot Charles Manson did, and I could have fucking been on the Beach Boys.
Joe on the Beach Boys, huh?
Yeah. I would have had a way better influence on him than he would have.
I couldn't be in the Beach Boys. I'm way too pale. I'd be in the Sunburn Boys. I'll tell you that much, buddy. But yeah, fucking Brian Jones, right?
Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson, sorry. Brian Wilson, like just his brain is like poisoned from acid, right?
Probably.
Or is it that he's schizophrenic on top of all the acid?
I'm sure the acid probably expedited whatever was going on in his brain.
Yeah. Brian Jones is the Rolling Stone that drowned in a pool.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, both the Rolling Stones and the Beatles had someone in their band that died right before they were super famous.
What a bummer. What a bad sense of time.
That really sucks, dude.
Makes you think it was like some kind of deal with the devil type thing.
Really?
Didn't John Lennon die in a pool of his own blood?
Ooh. The rumor about the Beatle that died is that him and John Lennon got into a physical altercation.
And that's what killed
sources.
him?
I have no idea if that's true, but it is true.
Yeah, they were like the albums were like, oh, we deciphered it and says Paul is dead because everyone thought Paul McCartney had died and they replaced him mid-tour.
Ooh, speaking of rock and roll, folks, you know I was going to bring this up. Eminem officially in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
He's not afraid.
Oh,
He's
shit.
not afraid to
For real?
to
be inducted.
Rock and roll.
Hall
of Fame.
Wrote
an acceptance speech. I'm very thankful. I want to thank even my mother. Everybody. Damn, dude. That's the only Eminem. That was always gonna be fucking pumped up.
He did play that. He did a little medley, and he did like he started with My Name Is, and he ended with one of his like latest songs. I forget which one right now. And also, I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's 2 surprise guests as well.
Say one is Machine Gun Kelly.
He probably.
That's where he decides to squash the beef.
Yo, I want to thank you for emasculating me on my fucking platform, because otherwise I couldn't have fucked Megan Fox way out of her prime.
Up until now, if he went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he probably would have said it felt so empty without me.
Hey, hell yeah, dude. Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but I think you started becoming more interested in Eminem just because you became friends with me. And you're like, well, I got to talk to this guy about something.
Well, I remember as a kid, one of the first like just pop culture and music things I knew that was like a cool musician that everyone knew was like Slim Shady. I was like 10 years old at like summer camp, and everyone was talking about Slim Shady and Eminem. And I remember my initials are MNM, so I felt a little bit ripped off there that somebody else took my nickname and got famous with it.
Yeah, now they just knew him as Big Faggot.
Yeah.
Did you like wait a minute?
But yeah, as far as the specific beefs and that stuff, yeah, that probably I started learning more about that when I became friends with you. But I was interested in it too. It wasn't like it's not like I put up with it just because I'm your friend.
Damn, dude. So it wasn't like wrestling in that respect, huh?
Wait, what?
Matt just signs off Zoom right now.
He does that angry close of the
You don't
laptop.
actually like. You only pretend to care about wrestling when I talk to you about it.
Well, I do. It's one of those things where when a loved one has passion in their voice when they're talking about something that they like, then you sort of get into it,
Yeah.
But that also applies to you, Matt.
Right.
I'm nervous.
I'm nervous too, dude. I hope we're gonna be okay.
We won't. We'll never survive from this one, dude.
We're gonna go a long ass time without recording because we're recording a bunch in a row because Joe is once again abandoning us.
I got a new podcast. Check it out. I'm replacing Jamie Vernon on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Okay.
It's gonna be wild. There's gonna be so much confusion the first couple of weeks. It's like, which Joe are you talking to? The little muscular one. Oh, wait a minute.
Every time he says "pull that up, Joe," and it's just incest porn that gets pulled up.
Yeah, I just have nothing but like fucking hentai cream pies. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I close out one window. There's even more grotesque, violent hentai."
One with Joe Rogan's face on it.
And then Joe's like all confused, like, "Whoa, what the hell is that?" And he goes into like a whole fucking like, I get Rogan into hentai pillows.
Yeah,
and he's like, so like the next time he has like Neil deGrasse Tyson on the podcast, Neil's explaining the theory of relativity and all that, and Rogan's like, "That's crazy, man. Have you ever heard of a waifu?" He's like, "Yeah, I got like 7 of these fuckers now." Like, Joe, pull that up. And it's like just Rogan instead of like elk meat. It's just various waifu pillows and shit.
Comes
like,
yeah, have you done
like
DMT?
a regular sized pillow for Rogan instead of a fucking full bodied fucking waifu pillow. Just a regular fucking head pillow, but for him, it's gonna have to snuggle up with. Oh. Little ass man. I love that guy. He's cute. I'd pinch his cheeks if I saw him in real life. He just wants to be hugged, dude. You can tell all that posturing, He just wants to be scooped up and hugged. Well, that's all anyone wants.
That's all I want, baby.
I know.
Just want to be lifted up and thrown about the room.
Yeah, man.
But then someone to pick me back up and kiss me and tell me it's gonna be okay.
Anyone under 6 feet just wants to be coddled.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, when you're with a new woman, and post coitus, you're like, I'll be the big spoon. And then, at least for me, this might be a short king perspective, but I always sort of like very slowly turn over and see if perhaps she'll be the big spoon. And a lot of the times she will be.
Interesting.
It's very nice.
Interesting.
Because then you're just held like a baby chick.
You gotta.
It's like a mother hen protecting you from the rain and the elements.
Yeah.
I do have to make her come though. She won't. If she doesn't come, she won't be the big spoon. It's too much.
Yeah. You have to make her come if you want her to be the big spoon. I like the cuddle after where I like lay on my back and she lays head on my chest.
Or it's like you're like, "Hey man, I got my Ubers here in 15 minutes. You wanna big spoon it up, you fucking gigantimus?"
Exactly.
Yo, Goliath, scoop me up. My lift's on. My ride share's on the way.
Or it's your ride share's on the way, so you better get all this out of your system.
Yeah, otherwise he's cuddling with the gentleman in the back seat.
That's right.
Sorry, I didn't get a chance to get this out of my system. I will say, folks, I swipe right on women 6 feet and taller.
Why?
It's a fantasy I would like to fulfill.
Ooh.
And we'll see. Well, it hasn't worked out yet. Tallest woman I've been with is 5'10".
Oh, hey, sweetie, come here often. These places are mine. She fucking comes in, clears out the headboard on your fucking house.
5'10" was a little hard because we were having sex doggy style.
Ooh.
And
she was behind you, fucking. That's actually called the Jim Henson, Bobby. Ready or not, here I come, little fellow.
Fortunately, my hair is too short to be pulled, so that's why I strap on the wig for just that purpose.
All right, Bobby, say the Gettysburg Address. I'm going to drink a glass of water.
I can't say the Gettysburg Address while I'm fucking. That's way too long. That speech is almost 3 minutes long.
She stimulates your prostate. You're like, 4 score. You forget the rest of it.
Milk me like Lincoln milked all the extra troops in Boston, baby. Yeah, but
the emancipation ejaculation. Emancipation ejaculation.
Which didn't even ejaculate the whole of the penis, only 3/4 of the penises. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh, mercy.
But later, when we switched and I was actually behind her.
Oh, yeah.
She's 5'10". I'm 5'6" for anyone just joining.
On your tippy toes.
Dude, I literally was having trouble reaching.
Why didn't you do the thing where you have her just have her spread eagle on the bed?
During this time, I didn't actually know you yet.
Too bad there wasn't like a fucking like oil painting somewhere in that house where I would like clear out the eyes of one of like the old fucking estate owners and like watch you. And it's like, wait a minute, Bobby, no, have her lie spread eagle on the bed.
Yeah.
That's how you do it, you goof.
Yeah.
And then you just stand on the floor.
And it's funny because most women, if you fuck them doggy style, will like give you the on the knees and on the elbows for like maybe a minute. And they're like, all right, I'm tired. And they push their face into the pillow. But this woman, unfortunately, had a lot of stamina. So at one point, I get on like my feet.
Face the camera while
I tried to
pull out your dick too, so everyone can see what you were working with.
I'll use this to represent my dick, even though it's a little too big.
Okay.
So I go over and I try to like I'm like this on the bed. My feet are on the bed, and she's like fully below me, and I do not have the stamina for this at all. And I'm like, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just trying something new. How about you get on your back?" Because I will say this, folks. I am missionary is my favorite position, and I think it's because
you can't miss an airy with missionary. We're back. I'm back.
I missed it.
We're back. I
can't wait till I'm back there so I can be a part of the high fives.
Never again, Matt. Your doctor forbid any kind of high fives for at least 3 years. We'll have to. He's like trying to fucking. That's part of physical therapy. Is like just stopping short of a high five, just to make sure you retain the muscle memory of the back and forth. But it's not yet ready for impact. The bones haven't mended in a way that he can.
There are times where I kind of had the opposite problem of you. I can be too tall for doggy on the bed, where I have to. A lot of times it's better I stand up on the floor.
Matt, a big fucking guy like you, you're supposed to lift the woman up and like underneath her legs. And here, Bobby, here, let me show you. I had a fucking Bobby in the ass on the regular episode. We don't even hide behind the face. Well, it's fucked on regular ass YouTube. It goes through the fucking highest ratings of all. Man, fucked in the ass on podcast.
I never degrade myself sexually for attention.
Assume.
Yeah, but look at me, dude. I didn't even flinch. I was like, "Oh yeah, of course, Daddy, anything for content."
It's like he took yes and to an extreme.
Yeah,
never break, dude. You see, that's why no one respects improv.
Yeah,
it can just then no one ever reports sexual assault because they were in character. Like what?
Aaron Glazer's like, she never said no.
What? Once he was done raping, he goes and scene. It's like, oh.
All right, you could stop crying now. The scene is over.
Yeah. It's in. You're in.
You don't have to be so Daniel Day, you stupid bitch. I'm done.
Do you think he's innocent?
Well,
Daniel Day
given
Lewis.
The fact that he has actually sued people for defamation, I'm actually going to plead the fifth on that one.
I think he's innocent, I guess, then.
Okay, well, you can say that, I suppose.
I don't want to get sued. He's innocent.
You know what's funny is there's a whole generation of open micers that probably don't even know who that guy is.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah?
I think it happened, like, right after I moved. Because everyone, like, talked about it. Like, I kind of get it. Apparently, like, it's, like, allegedly.
Yeah.
He was a naughty. But...
Yeah. Him and Mo Faffelbab. But Mo Faffelbab was probably even worse because he was a straight up, like, this mic is a safe space. Like, of course, that guy is allegedly a rapist.
Now, afterwards,
he was just experimenting.
Afterwards, he would say, "What if she says no, but I keep going?" Oh, that's pretty experimental.
That was the experiment comedy gallery.
Oh man, more Faffelbab, more sexual assault. That's what Biggie said.
Damn.
Yeah.
Allegedly, I don't know the guy.
He shot him on the street.
It is sort of interesting. Like, what do those guys do now? I guess, like, well, I know.
Well,
one of
he
them
may go and do it somewhere else. That guy's thing was he had run a place like that in LA and had a thing where he had been like sexual mistreatment of someone, and then came to New York and just did the same thing under the same like
damn, he's like a Catholic priest, dude.
Naughty.
That's wild. It's just getting moved to a new parish, no consequences.
You get moved to a new woke comedy space.
Yeah, until eventually you're in fucking like Poland, in Krakow, the very niche English language comedy scene. Yeah.
Do you think we'll get in there?
We might, dude. I love the idea of like traveling around Europe, and then if your set's bombing, you could be like, well, none of these people speak English.
Well, I heard Matt? I heard Bill Burr talking about doing all these places like Belgium and kind of like middle of Western Europe, where it's like Portugal, where they are like a lot of English speakers and they're very good audiences.
Do you think we'll do good over there?
Yeah, once we're in Brussels, I think we'll figure it out, dude. There's the Flemish. That's so funny to me, is that there's an ethnic group in Belgium called the Flemish, which sounds like a literal like Dr. Seuss made up identity.
Sounds like a group of Jews.
Yeah.
Matthew.
Yeah, Matt. Hey, you know what? We like to joke around the podcast, but there's a growing wave of anti-Semitism. All right. So maybe let's try to be a little more compassionate to our little hatted friends.
I heard the U.S. healthcare system isn't even taking care of Jewish men with physical injuries.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, dude. You know what I think is the cool move for like young hot Jews? I saw this young hot Jew the other day. It's not you, Matt. Don't get excited. But he wasn't wearing a yarmulke. He was wearing, and I think Drake popularized this, the necklace with the Star of David.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, you know, we could all agree the yarmulke, maybe not the coolest apparel, you know.
Is Drake Jewish?
Yeah.
Drake is Jewish, yeah.
So it's like he's like a Black Israelite. He was like what? He's like a Farrakhan.
Every Black person that's Jewish is a Black Israelite. That's my understanding. Yes.
Basically, right? Like what is the difference between being Black and Jewish or a Black Israelite? What is I'm like not trying to like set anyone up for a bit. I don't know. Well, I know nothing about this.
A Black Israelite is the ideology that Ashkenazi Jews are white people appropriating Judaism to be like empower white people, and that's why it intersects so well with like right-wing conspiracy theories about Jews. So they're like Black people are the real Jews, and people that call themselves Jews are like white imposters, and then they get into like the melanin conspiracy theory too, where they're basically like Black people are superior, white people have white skin because they're actually the devil, blah blah blah. And I only know this because I go to the Planet Fitness in Union Square, and they are there almost every other day yelling.
That shit actually makes a lot of sense, because like sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm Jewish. And I'm like, wait, from fucking Egypt and shit?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, we're going to go visit. Like Matt went to fucking Israel. It's like, it's completely fucking different. The skull structure alone of these are two entirely separate races.
These guys, if anyone goes to Israel, they realize that like Ashkenazi Jews are only one type of Jew. There's
a whole subspecies. I gotta get back to the hair about this.
So it's like
the hair hears about this. Look at that. I got a little Dr. Seuss going on.
There you go.
The fucking
so it's like thousands of
Nazi.
years ago. I think it was either the Romans or the Greeks kicked the Jews out. Some of them went up north to Europe, and those are the ones that thousands of years later became the Ashkenazi Jews. Some went to the Middle East. Those are the Sephardic Jews.
What about the Black Israelites?
You know, as generations went by, there was still the descendant of the mother being Jewish, but, you know, based on breeding with all the European white people, they became more white as thousands of years went by.
So this is like a little eugenics class right now.
Yeah. But the Black Israelite theory is that that whole thing isn't true. It was actually Black people who were the descendants of the original 12 tribes of Israel.
That makes sense.
And these white people who are saying they're Jewish are just culturally appropriating.
Mamma mia, that makes sense too.
I was when I was dating this girl, I've talked about her before. She was
Shelly,
yeah. When I was dating Shelly, she was the one that told me, or that calling female circumcision, female genital mutilation was culturally imperialistic and therefore racist. Like that was her whole perspective. One time we were riding in the car and she was playing like some 80s hip hop, old school rap. And I wish I could remember who it was, but he was basically, the whole first verse of this song was about how Moses was black. And I don't care what color Moses was, if he even existed, but like, you're a fucking retard if you care about that, what color skin Moses was. Like
I think he was black. That's why he had to split the sea to walk through it, because he couldn't swim.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah. But to me, it's like, I think
his parents abandoned him when he was born.
Yeah. He said, "Let my people go." He was a slave. He killed someone in a fit of rage.
Unleashed plagues on society.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, but it's like, I think about her now, and it's if you could fully fall into, well, black people were the real Jews because Moses was black. I'm wondering if she could fall into this whole Black Israelite thing, because why not?
Well, yeah, like, that's the thing, is just the idea of Jesus was probably black, or Moses was black, or any of that stuff is kind of, I don't know any difference, but it always ends up leading to, and also Jews are covering it up, and that's why they're evil and we hate them. It never doesn't go there.
I think also it sort of makes sense why if you're a radical thinking person who is black and you're trying to set up the world in a way where nothing is your fault because you're oppressed in every way imaginable, it makes sense that you would look at Ashkenazi Jews in America, who in a lot of ways are the model minority, like them and Asians. It makes sense that you want to find a reason for why it's actually, they're doing something nefarious that's keeping you down.
Which model minority would you have to wipe out first in the race war? The Ashkenazi
Black people don't have any issues with Asians, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, black people don't have any issues with Asians. Which one? I don't know. I think model minorities are pretty good. I think the unmodel ones have to get their shit together a little bit.
Which one would you wipe out first?
I'm not wiping out anybody, Joseph.
Fascinating.
Yeah, how about you?
Well, to find out on that, why don't you stick around for the Patreon episode coming up right now.
We're going to go right into it?
What? Yeah, we're back.
We're going to go right into it?
I would like to take a break.
Oh, you want to take a little break? Okay, well, I'm just going to keep it recording so that way we can just cut it. It'll be easier.
Matt, can I ask that you don't eat during the podcast? I'm sorry.
I thought so. After you mentioned what are you eating, I kept going by accident, but yes, I will not.
You can do whatever
you didn't pick up on me being passive aggressive.
I did the first time, and then like 20 minutes went by and I forgot.
Yeah.
And he got hungry again.
Yeah, I know that I can't be the only one that turns off a podcast if someone's eating. So yeah.
I like the ASMR of it all.
I think at first I'm like, oh, he's curious what I'm eating. But after the second time you asked me what I was eating, I was like, wow, did he forget? Oh no, I'm being an asshole.
Well, it's almost like, I know our patrons are listening. So it's like when you're a parent and you don't want to argue in front of the children.
Yes.
It was kind of like that.
I'm keeping this in the episode too, by the way.
I have to pee.
Go pee. Go pee. All right, we're going to take a little breaky poo. Go stretch your legs, Matt.
Cool.